If you've been posting content consistently, but you still feel invisible online, like you're talking, but no one's actually listening, then this video is for you. The problem isn't your content. It's just that you skip the most important step that every successful personal brand is built on. And nobody is talking about it at this level. This is the exact framework that I use to scale myself from 0 to 30K months, and the exact same framework that I use to help my client Amber go from inconsistent 10K a month to 30K months. And my client Amina scaled from 3K all the way to $26,000 in revenue. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain of one of my private calls where I break down the 3 pillars: identity, positioning, and authority, and exactly how to use them to build a brand that people remember, trust, and buy from. So let's get into the video.
So cool. So the very first thing I want to talk about in this one about personal branding is really the identity, positioning, and authority, and just why this matters and how these are the 3 pillars on why people choose you. Why do people want to invest in you and your brand? Okay, so just talking about why this matters, because before you even worry about content, before you try to grow an audience, before you sell anything, you need to be locked in on these 3 things, which is identity, positioning, authority. And without these, you're just another voice posting into another already crowded market. So if you don't have these on lock and you just go out there posting content, doing what everyone else does, then you're going to be blending in with everyone else as well. So most people try to create content first and then figure themselves out later. The people who win do the exact opposite. They get crystal clear on who they are, who they serve, and why people should even listen to them. Then everything they create reinforces that. So when I say when I say the question of some people may say, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to post right now. I have no idea what I could go and post. I'm running out of ideas. You should never run out of ideas, because if you have crystal clear clarity on who you are, about what you serve, about who you serve, and why they should listen to you, then you should never run out of content ideas, because all of about your character, about you, is going to reinforce that in and through your content. So through this, basically, we're going to go exactly how to define these 3 pillars for you. And when you understand everything, you see why people take an action. You see and understand why people would hesitate, why certain brands consistently attract loyal customers, and understanding this, the way you communicate, the way you position your offer, and the way you build trust with your audience. So the very first pillar is just identity. And I know you guys may have heard this: identity, positioning, authority. I know you may have heard this, but do you actually understand what this means? How to translate this into content? So the first question is, know who you are before you ask anyone to follow you. So your identity is not your niche. It's not your job title. It's not the type of content you make. Your identity is the answer to these 3 questions: who you are, what do you believe, and what have you been through? Getting super, super, super clear on exactly this. Because once you understand who you are, you know who you're showing up for, because most likely the easiest way to put this is you're creating content for probably your 2, 3, even 5-year self. What were they going through? What challenges did they have? What did they overcome? What doubts? Who are you? What's your story? And so one thing that in here, and a lot of you guys should have this, or not have this, but just I've told you guys to create your story, like map out who you are. Where did you come from? From start to finish, right? And so this is one thing that I put together to go with some of these brand modules, but essentially your story, your background, your upbringing, key life experiences, what shaped you, challenges that you had, what are your brand outliers? What are some things, why would people choose you? What are some habits that you do? Distinctive manner. See how specific the way you embrace imperfections, the way you structure your space or environment, your clothing, items, accessories. All of these things is what makes your brand, what people can be like, oh, that's Xenia. Oh, that's Charlotte. Oh, that's Kennedy. That's Beth. So if you're not clear on these, there is someone who has this mapped out, who knows exactly who they're coming and showing up for. What is their color palette? What are their fonts? Are you using fonts, different fonts for every single video? You don't have a specific font that you use. You don't have a specific aesthetic, a specific feel. This is what's really important, and something that let me just show you this real quick. When I say this is a website, right? Just a portfolio. But like when you look through these websites, each one of these websites show you and tell you a different story. From the fonts down to the designs, down to the colors, all of it show you a different design. And imagine if you structured your account like this. Imagine if someone lands in your account and they see you with a branded aesthetic. Imagine how much visual pleasing that is to somebody if they see everything consistent, right? So this is just mapping out who you are. You guys will get this, but already I would say map out your story. There's no reason why you can't map out your story, because when you're creating content, you should have your story mapped up to know, okay, what is my overarching idea that I want to portray in this video? How can I connect it to some piece of me or about me? And then create that video, having your ICP in mind and your unique story and experiences in it. The vehicle, right? The industry or niche that you operate in. Where's your business base? The problem that you solve for your audience. So all of this is just getting crystal clear. So who you are, what do you believe, and what have you been through? People don't connect with the perfect highlight reels. They connect with real humans with real stories. And your identity is the foundation of your entire brand. And people are going to buy you before they buy your product. I know Karina just posted a super like vulnerable video of her past versus her now. People are going to see that piece of content, and I know they're just going to be like, "Oh my goodness, like this woman is so inspiring. She's been through so much. You know, she's building her business now. She has two businesses. I want to be like her." And because you have displayed your identity, who you are, to a certain degree, people are going to want to come along and follow that, because people know that everyone's life is not perfect. People know people have gone through things. So people like to connect with real connections. And the three parts of identity is one, your what? Your brand should stand for something. This is a belief that connects everything you talk about. It's a deeper message behind what your content is about. So ask yourself, what do I want people to gain from following me? What beliefs guide the way I live and work? What experiences shape how I see the world? You're going out there thinking, how can I tell somebody how to get DM conversations, instead of connecting the overarching story that you want your viewer to walk away with? So what do I want people to gain from following me? And not just like, value in your business regards, but also like someone's going to connect to you if you tie in a piece of your life experience. What beliefs guide the way I live and work? So my sports background, I played sports all my life. I'm competitive, I'm disciplined, I'm hardworking, I'm coachable. I love to learn. I love to be in new environments. I like pressure. How can I relate all of those life experiences into my content? How can I talk about that? Because then when it shows up, oh, I care about my clients. I care about what they do. I care about getting them help. I care about this. Then that shows authentically and it relates to my business. Or when I talk about I'm disciplined, I talk about my structure, I talk about systems, I relate that to my business. The reason why your business is not doing 20K, 30K months is because you're lacking in discipline. You're lacking in systems and structures. You enter business with just like, oh, today I post this. Oh, today I post this, not giving any thought to your content. And so if I create a piece of content, imagine how well my ICP relates to that. Why? Because I know my ICP has struggles with creating systems, with creating content. I know my ICP struggles with discipline, with being consistent. And that's why they're not achieving the thing that they want to achieve. Right? So if I connect all of my life experiences to a piece of content with value in business, imagine how much that would hit for somebody. People listen to stories. People listen to stories. So what experiences have shaped you? How do you see the world? And take that take. Next is, for example, like if I was to say, my core belief is simple. A personal brand is the most powerful asset you can build in the digital economy. Everything I teach, content, offers, audience building ties back to that belief. So your content pillars sit underneath your message, but your message is what connects them all. Your content pillars sit underneath your message, but your message is what connects them all. So when people ask, I don't know what content pillars I have, I don't know what content pillars should be. Well, what is your message? What is your overall message that you want to portray to people, to your audience? Have that connect. So if you want to connect your values of discipline, hardworking, well, let that be a mindset section. Let that be something where you talk about mindset, where you talk about limiting beliefs. So in my middle of funnel content, where I'm breaking beliefs, I'm going to connect my overall message that I have, my life experiences through middle of funnel content. So your content pillars sit underneath your message. It is what connects. Your message connects your content pillars. Don't just choose content pillars just for choosing them. And that's what people told you to do. But what is your message? And then connect your content pillars. 2 is your who, the person you serve. So your brand becomes powerful the moment you get specific about who it is for. So many creators make the mistake of trying to help everyone. I help people improve their lives. That sounds nice, but it ends up helping no one. How do you improve people's lives? I help you regulate your nervous system. I help you break limiting beliefs. I help you build confidence in yourself, in your life. And I help, more specific even, I help you build confidence in your work life and corporate life. I help you lose 15 pounds. I help you gain 15 pounds in the gym and gain confidence to be around your husband. Notice how specific that is. But when you are specific, that clarity creates that connection because people can actually feel it. So your brand becomes powerful when you get so specific about your ICP. And I know you probably are tired of hearing ICP, but seriously, this is what connects everything to it. Like one piece of content that I created recently was talking about how I hit 10K sales before I hit 10K followers. That was like the hook was more of a top of funnel because I didn't go viral. I didn't go viral creating content, or I didn't go viral. I didn't get rich by going viral. And I'm breaking limiting beliefs that people may have. I actually had someone DM me from that specific content. Hey, I've gone viral. I have 30K followers. I'm not making any money. So notice how that was a specific problem and I connected it to my story. Because I understand my message and I understand who it's for. So now I'm speaking directly to those people. So clarity creates that connection with people. The most powerful shortcut that here is simple. Teach a version of you from 2 or 3 years ago, 5 years ago. You know exactly what that person struggled with. You know exactly what they're searching for. And you've already walked the path that they're trying to work. And that makes your message super honest and super relatable. So it's like, when you understand, that's why you get so clear on your brand identity, because when you understand your background, when you understand the things that you've gone through, then guess who's the best person to be able to relate the content. Like, I'm talking about this because I've lived it. I know what it's like to have 0 followers. I know what it's like to get no likes. I know what it's like to start over. I know what it's like to have no one to support you. I know what it's like in life to feel like maybe you aren't going to be successful or success isn't for you. I know what it's like to have limiting beliefs. So I've gone through those struggles, and each and every one of you have gone through specific things in your life, and your ICP is going to be able to relate to it. 3, your uniqueness, which is just your unfair advantage, your selling point, your selling proposition. This is where this is where most personal brands blend in. So your uniqueness comes from the 3 places, which is your pain, your experience, and your skill. Pain is a struggle that you lived through. Experience is what you built or you have accomplished. And skill is what you're generally good at teaching. So like I said, every single one of you have been through something. That is your unique selling point. Every single one of you has experience in doing something. What have you built? What have you accomplished? Or what are you even building? And then your skill, what are you generally good at teaching? And the good thing about skills is skills can be learned. The good thing about skills is skills can be learned. I wasn't naturally good at marketing and online and speaking to people. But the good thing is I knew that there was things out there that I could learn. There was people I could learn from to get better. So your uniqueness comes from these three things. And even if you're in the part of discovering what you're really, really good at, go through that journey with people. Because so many people are probably at the same place as you. I want to get good at this, but I have no idea how to do it. And if you have the balls to go and get good at that skill, people start to look at you as the authority and start to look up to you and be inspired by you. The most powerful one though is pain because people connect to your humanity and not your highlights. They want to know the rock bottom, the doubts, the moments that you've had, because this is what creates the strongest connection with your audience. They show people you understand the struggle because you lived through it. But not only that, people when you are authentic, notice how like the content online that gets the most engagement, that gets the most likes, comments, and support are the people who show up in being vulnerable. The people who actually like are not afraid to hide behind a story, but knowing that your story, your testimony can help somebody else. And that's why people appreciate it so much because they're like, wow, you shared this. I was going through the exact same thing. I haven't been able to talk about this. I haven't been able to share this. But because you just gave me encouragement. You just inspired me. And that is the purpose in sharing your pain, not just to share for no reason, but like we are called to share our testimony, share our story, because it's selfish to think that we're supposed to keep it to ourselves. We have to be able to share because sharing our story helps somebody else. So, identity exercise that you can actively do is create the three columns and fill them out. What is your message? What belief drives everything you talk about? Two, your who. Who are you helping and what are they struggling with? Uniqueness, your advantage. What experiences, what struggles, what skills make your perspective valuable? Everything else in your brand will build on this foundation. This is what you share in your content. These three things: what, who, uniqueness. What is your belief? Because then you want to be consistent in telling this exact same message. Message is what creates clarity and consistency in your viewer's mind. Like the first time you might have heard a really good song, let's just say it was Thames song, her new one. I love that song, right? The first time you heard it, you might not have remembered it. But then you kept hearing that song again and you're like, this is super good. This is really good. Like I love Dave and Tim's. And then at the point you start to memorize the song. You didn't even need the lyrics to be able to memorize the song. And then it just becomes so natural. It just stuck in your head, stuck in your head, stuck in your head. That's how you want your brand to be in people's minds. The first time they see you, okay, I like this girl. Okay, cool. Okay, I hear what she's talking about. Come to our page again. She's talking about the same thing. She's really good at this. Okay. And then I come across your page again, and again, and again. You're emphasizing the same things. That is what makes your brand memorable in people's minds, just like a song. You're repeating it over and over and over again. And then it starts to stick for people. So now when people think of Ava, they think of content marketing tips and tricks. They think of split screens. They think of double people. She's reinforced it so many times. When I think of John Woe, I think about how he's authentic. He shares content advice. He shares his story with his family over and over and over again. When I hear Afnan, she speaks about money, power, women empowerment. She talks about materialistic things. I know what she talks about every single time. What are the core things that you can talk about in your content that it's like, oh yeah, that's Charlotte's content. Oh yeah, that's Karina's content, right? Two is positioning. Okay. Own a specific space in someone's mind. So positioning is not even about being the best. It's about being the first person that someone thinks of in that category. So when someone has a specific problem, their brain looks for the person associated with solving it. And because your message has been said so many times over and over and over again, they think of you for solving it. Like even Callaway, when you think of Callaway on his YouTube channel, when you want to go to script writing, hooks, and understanding like creativeness and like all of that, you're going to Callaway. I'm going to Callaway. He's the first person in my mind that comes up in that space, and it's a unique space. It's not like John, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's not like John Woe's content. It's not like Ava's content, right? They have their specific niche. They have their specific like category. And that's how you want to be in your industry, in your niche. You want to own your category. You want to own your space. So your goal is your goal is to become that person in people's mind. How can you take a specific angle and make it unique? Because guess what? There are thousands of tech companies out here. There's iPhone, there's Android, there's Kia, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. There's 1,000 fashion brands out here. There's H&M, there's Hollister, there's this, there's that. But what specific take and angle can you be known for? Okay, your jeans are the best. Okay, this is the best corporate place to shop for. So don't think in your mind, don't hold the limiting belief that, oh, I can't stand out. Based on your experiences, based on who you are, it is clear, it's a no-brainer that you can stand out, but you have to map this out and then get consistent in saying that. And that's what people are going to know you for. The power of a contrarian belief. So the fastest way to stand out is having a belief that goes against the dominant thinking in your space. Not for attention, not to be controversial, but because it's genuinely what you believe. For example, many people say you should focus on going viral. My belief is different. You should focus on building trust first because trust is what actually drives sales. Attention does not pay the bills. A strong belief like that instantly starts to separate you from the crowd. Notice how in people's content, like on YouTube, they will start to say, I'm not going to give you this guru advice that most people tell you, oh, post 1 time on YouTube, oh, post 3 times consistently online. They'll say that because by saying that statement, they're instantly taking a contrarian belief. So how in your content can you take a belief that you genuinely believe in and say that consistently in your marketing message? So for me, I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God. And some people might think, okay, religion and business don't need to be mixed. I disagree with that. That is just a natural disagreement. I'm not trying to argue, but that's genuinely what I believe. So what am I doing? All throughout my content, I reinforce my beliefs. I talk about Jesus. I talk about how my purpose is to help people, to impact people's lives. So how can you take a genuine belief in what you stand for? And it doesn't have to be something crazy, guys. It's just simple. Don't overthink this. But how can you take a genuine stance in what you believe in and talk about that consistently throughout your content? So your brand statement, once you know your belief, you should be able to explain it in one clear sentence. So a simple formula that you guys can use is, I believe that blank audience who want their goal should focus on blank approach instead of common advice. Simple. So fill in that blank with this sentence as well, right? Many people say you should focus on viral. My belief is different. I think you should focus on trust. I think instead of focusing so much on getting sales, you need to build trust with your audience. Because wanting to go viral, getting attention won't pay the bills for you. And that's what you have to, that's the limiting belief. So instantly when I say that, people always think, oh, I have to go viral. Oh, I need more views. I don't know, my engagement is lacking, right? So that's your brand statement. For example, I believe digital marketers who want to grow their business should focus on building a trusted personal brand instead of chasing viral content. Simple. That is one sentence that tells people who you help, what you help them do, and why your approach is different. Simple. And then you reinforce that, and then you show that in your content. I feel like I posted a poll up and I did like, what do you think this YouTube video is about? Personal branding, mindset, content, sales. And even though I just did a video about personal branding, everyone said personal branding. Why? Because I reinforced that in my content. So now I'm going to take an angle that people love, and people have told me that multiple times, personal branding, personal branding, personal branding. Even though I'll tell you guys, the video is not about personal branding. Okay, it's about mindset, which is another angle that I love to talk about. But see, this is whatever message you have, whatever skill you've learned or built up or genuinely passionate about talking about, That is what you want your audience to know you for. And that's the message they want to hear. And then good at telling that in multiple different ways. So control your brand associations. This comes from knowing that if you're not intentionally building your brand, people are doing it for you. So you want to control your brand associations. This just simply means, what do people attach you to? For example, I just said personal branding. People attach me to personal branding. People attach me to mindset, talking about faith. People attach me to that. So your brand is simply the result of what you consistently associate yourself with. And if you're not associating yourself with anything, then people are making it up in their mind. And it may be good, it may be bad. So you need to decide two things. One, what do you want to be known for? And it's okay to start and be like, well, I like this, I like this, I like that. But start in one area, and then you can branch out. And then you can, be known for this topic and all these other topics. But get known for one thing first. And two things you refuse to be associated with. What do you not want to be? What movement do you not support? This is what makes a strong personal brand. So every piece of content you create reinforces those decisions. So I'm intentional in building my content and talking about, or creating content and talking about building my brand. How can I help you build your brand? How can you do it in simple ways? How I did it in just 6 months. How you can do it in just 6 months. What do you need to dial in? What do you need to focus on? Because everybody hears build a personal brand, but no one understands what that actually truly means. And then not only that, but people don't even take the actions to build their personal brand intentionally. So you're just stuck online. Well, yeah, every single person who has an Instagram has a personal brand. They're just not intentionally building it. I help people intentionally build a personal brand. And 3, last pillar is authority. So give people a reason to trust you. Authority is not just about your following count. It's not about titles or certifications. Authority is simply evidence that what you teach actually works. And the more proof you show, the faster people trust you. I would even argue that the more failures that you also show, the more things that you went through, people will trust you more too. Why? Because you've done something. Good data gives you a bad result, like doing something that you failed at potentially, and something that you did good at. Both of them give you data. Okay, everything in life gives you data. So you sharing a challenge that has given you data about what not to do, and when you share that with people, people trust you a lot more, because you're not just trying to be like, oh, everything I do works. You're showing them, hey, I tried this, don't do this. I used to think that I have to go viral. I was obsessed with going viral. I was obsessed with getting followers. I was obsessed and getting a whole bunch of views. Don't do this. Do this instead. Build systems around content. Build systems around your brand. Build systems around fulfillment. And that's what you share. So your credibility bank. So every single one of you guys should have a credibility bank. I want you to go and create a credibility bank. What does that mean? Your authority comes from this bank, because this is everything that you've done to prove your knowledge. So results that you have achieved, things that you have built, mistakes that you learned from, people who you've helped, problems that you have solved. And you don't need a huge credibility bank to start. You just need relevant proof connected to what you are teaching. Build your bank. What have you done? What have you achieved? What have you hit? You gained X amount of followers in this time. You gained X amount of views in this week. You had a video go viral within creating 3 months worth of content. With implementing your new strategy, you just hit a new view count. Whatever it may be, what is your credibility? What results have you achieved from that? What results have you achieved in life? Hello. I will talk about that I went to Dubai and that I was in a room with a bunch of men and I was the only woman. To me, that's an achievement. To me, that's empowering. I'm not making that up, but when I go out and say that to people, people are going to be like, wow, that's inspiring. That's something I want to do. I want to be that confident. So any results that you have done in your life, mark that down in your credibility bank. and keep stacking the results. Keep coming back. What have you accomplished? What have you done? We love to say the things, the negative things that we have not done. We love to say our failures. We love to point out that this didn't work. This video flopped. This video didn't work well. I haven't made a sale this week. This was a bad month. But what good did you do that month? What results did you receive that month? Or was it just all bad and poop? And like one of the modules that I'm filming is one about focus. And when you focus on negative things, you're going to see negative things always. Like it was this research done on when people say when like race car drivers are racing and they're drifting and whatever, they tell them not to look at the rails because if they look at the rails, they're going to go into the rails. So they told them to look into the open field. Or same when you are going in a car accident, like they tell you don't look at the thing that you're about to hit or the thing that's stuck in the road. Look at the openness of the road. In the same way, if you focus on the negative things that you have going on, that's all you're going to see. But if you focus on the opportunities in your life, if you pour the same energy that you've poured into the negative things and poured into the positive things, how much good would you see? How many ideas would come up? How many opportunities would you have seen that you would have missed because you were stuck on focusing on the negative? So build up your credibility bank, focus on the good things that you've done, right? There's one thing that so when I was going through one of my injuries, I was proud of writing. I wrote a almost 300-page journal. I was proud of that. I list that in one of the results that I achieve. Because not only does that just say something, but it also has characteristics of what a person like that would do. A person who writes a book has discipline. A person who writes a book is focused. A person who writes a book is committed about her learning. So I not only did that achievement, but the byproduct of what that caused for me is also something I could share. So nothing is too little to put on your credibility bank. How authority is built through content. So authority in your content comes from 4 elements: direction, comprehension, effectiveness, and likability. And most creators focus on likability. Oh, they have to like me. Oh, but I don't have this. I don't have that. Oh, people wouldn't like my personality. Most people focus on how can they be likable. But the biggest driver of authority is how well they can comprehend what you are teaching. Because clarity is what wins. Clarity is what's going to beat everything. I don't care how you look. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what color your skin. I don't care what hair color you have. If you can be clear and concise about what it is that you do, people are going to want that. So the 3 ways to build authority. 1, teach it consistently. Every valuable piece of content adds to your authority. And over time, people begin to associate you with those solutions. Teach it consistently. Keep your message and teach it consistently. 2, show proof. Share results. Show transformations. The biggest thing, and I understand it because I was asking the same thing too, but there has to become a point where you stop asking, how can I show proof if I haven't had wins? You have to be able to, because I was sharing every win. I don't care if I had 10 views, 10 likes, 10 new followers. Oh my goodness, welcome into the squad. Welcome in. I'm so excited. I have so many new faces. I did not care how little it seemed. I shared my results. I started off just like every single one of you with the course that everyone was selling with no results, no proof. I didn't have anything. And I had no experience in marketing and sales. Come from a criminal justice background. But what I did do that most people avoid is sharing the proof, sharing results. I just told my client this and he just got 500 DMs. I just shared this with my client and she just broke through with content.
That's what I said yesterday.
I know, you know. I want to share every single aspect because if you don't document that, then how you're going to actually have no proof because you think you have to get the proof of making $1 million while in the process of you trying to get there, what about those wins? What about you creating your first website and launching it? What about you creating a school platform? What about you putting together videos? What about you creating a freebie that you're excited about? Share your wins. And when you get interested in your wins too, people start to care as well.
That's deep.
I like to, because that's what you find important, people will also find important as well.
Some will, some won't. Who cares about the ones that don't?
Exactly. Some will, some won't. But when you notice how people, there's some people, and you know, those people who are on your account, the people who are in your life, when you're like, I'm so excited about this. And it may seem super, super small, but they're like, I'm proud of you. When you put emphasis on the things that you find important and the proof that you build or the results that you have, people care too. People care too. And you'll see some of the things on content, you're like, oh my goodness, like this is really small. But people are supporting and showing up and what it means to somebody. I saw a viral video, I think it had like almost 10 million views. It was like this one lady, she was basically in the workout. She does like live streaming on YouTube on like working out. And she didn't have any studio. And her husband surprised her with, building out a studio for her. And she shared that moment. And it's like, it might be small to anyone else. Like some people would not have documented that. But because she captured that moment, one, it got 10 million views and people were like, oh my goodness, I love this. And guess how many people wanted to support her, join her live streams from that video? People had no idea. She said, I had made 0 sales. But guess what? Now, 0 sales to people wanting to buy and go into her live streams and pay for her product. People didn't care how many sales she made. People didn't care about how many people were inside the live stream. People just wanted to support her. And that's what you have to understand with your life as well. 3, share your failures. Authority doesn't just come from pretending everything is perfect. It comes from honesty. So now I'm not saying always go out there and be like, I had zero sales, I had this or this, but I mean, when it's authentic and when it's true, you talk about some of the failures that you have. This month, I'll be honest, was not that good. This month, I was busy on working on this. I was busy on doing this. I was working on the fulfillment. I was working on the back end systems. I was working on this. So this month wasn't my highest revenue month, but it sure was my most fulfilling month because I put together so much value for the people who are going to come in. That may seem like a failure, but in all actuality, it just shows people would get from that. It's not just about the money. This person actually cares about getting people results. This person is actually putting in time to make things better. So a failure might look like what might look like to you, and you can choose to focus on the negative, or you can focus on the positive. How much did you wow, I did this though. Like, even though I might have not hit my highest revenue month, I learned this. I learned all about personal branding. I learned all about content creation. I learned all about scripting. I had my first viral video. I had a mini viral video. I found an outlier. Right? Like, share your failures though, because when you share what went wrong and what you learned, people will just trust you more. And the student versus expert, you have to be honest with where you are, right? If you're still on the journey, document that. That's okay. I was on a journey. I was documenting it. If you have already achieved results, teach from experience. Teach how you had your first high ticket sale. Teach how you had your first viral video. Teach how you gained 1,000 followers. Teach that. The biggest mistake people make is pretending to be the expert though, before they are. So when you are just authentic about it, it builds trust with your audience, and pretending just destroys that. People can tell. Let's be real, right? People can tell. But I will say confidence, there's a balance because you want to have confidence about what you're teaching. And so I always reference, I've been studying this. I've been learning this. I heard from this. Like, my millionaire coaches taught me this, right? I'm able to leverage the things that I have done and be like, oh, maybe I haven't had this perfectly, or maybe I haven't hit 100K month, but I sure know I'm studying how to hit it. And I'm documenting everything that I am doing to do that. Right? So just know where you fall. I wouldn't be an expert in hitting 100K months yet. I'm a student in that. I'm documenting what it takes. Systems have to be rebuilt. Things have to be put in place. Fulfillment has to be in order. Content system has to be restructured. Getting clear, I go back and I tweak these things. These exact same things that I'm telling you guys to do, I'm tweaking every month. I'm going in. What can I add? What are my clients? What are my clients going through? I go through I have a folder for every single one of my sales calls, and it's divided up. I know exactly what people are experiencing, people are going through. And I have a whole document summary on each one of my clients. I have categories so I can go my coaching calls, team calls. I know exactly what people are experiencing. I have a whole SOP built out, understanding what my clients are going through. But this is why I'm successful, not because I'm just like willy-nillying it, because I actually have systems put in place to honestly know where I'm at, honestly know how to get better, honestly know how to create content better.
Wait, how do you do the folders thing? I was trying to do that one day and I gave up because I couldn't find out how.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a membership. You have to pay for the membership or something.
I'm not sure. I can show you after.
Okay.
I'm not sure though. I'll see. I do have it paid, I think, but I'll show
Yeah,
you
I
that
think they're
after.
about to tell me. I think on the 31st, I think it says we're gifting you unlimited use until April 8th.
Yeah.
May apply. Yeah.
All right.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So these are how the three pillars work together: identity, positioning, and authority. These three pillars stack on top of each other. And identity defines who you are. Positioning defines the space that you do own. Okay. Authority proves you can deliver. And when those three align, something very powerful happens. Not just, okay, you hear this all the time. I need to be positioned well. I need to have an identity. I need to have authority. But now you actually know what this means and how you can incorporate this into your content. So trust builds naturally, and trust is what turns attention into clients. Not the other way around, not to just get attention, but how can you build trust with your clients, with your audience, and turn that into clients?